Okay, so I just got finished doing an episode of, as I'm recording this, the VO Booth Besties with Jen and Aleesha. And a question came up during it that I want to kind of give a little bit more detail on, and that is somebody asked in this, we were talking about audiobooks, and somebody asked, how do you keep all the characters straight in your audiobooks? And my answer wasn't sort of a mechanical one, it was more of a philosophical one. And it's a lot easier than you think if you approach it like an actor. So let's talk about that in this episode of the VOHeroes podcast. One of the hosts of the podcast that I was just on was lovely. If you haven't gone over and joined VO Booth Besties, please do so. They're great, Jen and Aleesha. And one of the questions came up, we were talking about audiobooks, and one of the questions came up, how do you keep all the characters straight? One of the hosts had just read a book rather than listened to it and thought to herself as she was reading it, oh my God, if somebody was narrating this book, there are tons of characters in this book. How do they keep them all straight? And I actually asked her, how many, as you looked at this, was a ton? And she said 15. 15 is not a lot of characters for fiction. It's, you've got protagonists, you've got antagonists, you've got members of the team, you've got henchmen, you've got, third-party story movers. There's all kinds of ways that characters play, but they all have slightly different voices. And how do you keep all that straight? And aside from the recommendation that if you really need to keep things straight, if it's like, Harry Potter level, like 200 characters, and you need to keep them straight in a database, I recommend using Positron in their character area. But what I said was, this may not be something that you really need to worry about. Number one, 15 is not a lot of characters. When you look at the vast preponderance of books and how many characters are in the stories of the books, that's really not a lot of characters. And the good news is, every character has been honed and refined by the author over a long period of time to have different needs and different wants, different environments, upbringing, influences, different goals, different limitations. And of course, when you're narrating a book, if you're narrating a book for a rights holder, you want to use in your welcome kit, hey, can you give me a character rundown of all the characters in the book so that you have an idea of those things. But more importantly, and this is the big thing, let the story keep you on track. Let the story give you what you need, because it will give you more than is necessary. Certainly the lead characters are easy. The side characters become easy when you realize that they were left in, they weren't parts of the marble statue that the author removed, like a sculptor removes pieces of marble to leave you with the finished statue. They were left in for a reason. And that reason becomes clear in the story. Well-written books have no superfluous anything. There's no unnecessary characters. There's no unnecessary plot twists or turns. A book is as long, a good book is as long as it needs to be and no longer, and as short as it needs to be and no shorter. And everything that happens in a book happens for a reason. If it's your own book, you know this. If it's a book you're doing for somebody else, know this. And know that that story, those words are going to do so much of the heavy lifting in terms of keeping the characters straight that you may end up at the other end going, oh, wow, I didn't have anything to worry about. Because you didn't. You really didn't. Now, if it's a sci-fi book and you have no idea how to pronounce their names and you're making stuff up out of whole cloth and the rights holder says to you, oh, it's your choice, go for it. Or you decide for yourself after having written your book that you're voicing on your own, when I was writing it, I thought it was this, but maybe now it's this. That's fine. That's your choice. You're an artist, right? I guess my bottom line is it's not as big of a worry as you think it is, and that there are tools that you can use to help you, but likely getting to know the story better is going to be your best aid in that space of keeping characters straight. Does that help? How do you keep characters straight? Let me know in the comments below. What do you use? Do you use a database? Do you use a Google Sheet? Do you have some sort of like thing where, because with Positron, you can put little audio samples if you need to. Tell me. Let me know. Hit the like button if you like what you're hearing here. You can hit the subscribe button, the notification bell to find out when the next episode comes out. If you want to share this with another artist that might need to hear these words, please feel free to do so. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I will see you in the next episode of the VOHeroes podcast.